Today, I'm testing out slime kits from Amazon and seeing if they're really worth it. Hit subscribe and let's get started. Okay, so I bought more slime kits from Amazon. You guys loved the last video, so I'm excited to get into these. This first one is a slime DIY kit, and it's meant to make a fluffy slime. It came in this pretty cool container, so I was excited to see what it would be like, and I think you have to just shake it. I definitely haven't had a container like this before. It kind of looked like a milkshake or like a frappuccino cup. Now, I pulled off the lid and opened the slime up, and I was a little surprised with what I found. There was some sprinkles, a little plastic measuring cup, and then just the instructions kind of roughly folded in here, along with a little mystery bag. Of course, I have no patience, so I opened up the little mystery bag immediately, and it was just like a unicorn charm, which was pretty cool. I had a brief look at the instructions, and I think it was pretty clear. And inside the cup is kind of like a powder. It doesn't really say what the powder is, and I've never seen a slime kit like this before, so I'm really hoping it's gonna work. Now, I have no idea what type of powder this is, but I do know that it got absolutely everywhere, and I was really trying not to breathe it in because I guess I didn't want to breathe in slime. So the instructions basically just say to fill up the little cup it comes with and then just shake everything together. And this seems so strange to me because where is the glue? Where is the activator? Where are all the slime ingredients? But I was trusting the process and followed the instructions and just shook this for the life of me. I genuinely did shake it so hard that I thought my arm was going to fall off at one point. And this was going really well until the lid fell off. So all that powder I was talking about not wanting to breathe in or go everywhere went everywhere and got breathed in. So the slime itself wasn't really looking like slime. I mean, I had been shaking it for over the amount of time it suggested and it still hadn't fully formed. There was a chunk of it stuck in the lid, and then also in the container there was also a chunk of it all together. So instead of putting the lid back on and shaking it all over again, I didn't want to do that. I decided to just mix it with my hands like normal slime and see if I could make it come together. Now, I'm going to be honest here, I did feel a little bit misled by the size of the container because this slime was tiny. I was kind of expecting the slime to at least fill like half of the container, but this wasn't even going to fill a fourth. Now, the more I mixed it, I could kind of tell that the texture wasn't really like anything I'd felt before. I guess any slime I felt before, really, because it just kind of felt like blue tack. To be completely fair, I mean, it did stretch and it was kind of soft, but only if you pulled it very slowly. And the more and more I kind of played with it just to try and mix everything up even more, it got even tougher. And after spending so long mixing it and shaking it, I was disappointed that the result wasn't even good. I will say though, I do really like the color of this slime. It was a really lovely purple lavender color, but the texture wasn't really a fluffy slime like it had been advertised as, and was more of a putty if we were going to call it anything. I did want to use what else this kit came with, so I opened up the sprinkles and put them in the slime, and these look cute with the unicorn charm that I also put on, which was just a little plain. I do regret adding these though, because although they do make the slime look a little nicer, they made it harder to play with and everything kind of just fell out. So it's safe to say I won't be rushing back to buy this kit again anytime soon. Okay, so now we're moving on to a more proper kit. I guess this has a lot more stuff in and is a lot bigger and comes with all different sorts of things. The first thing was a booklet with some recipes, some foam beads, a ton of other ingredients like fake snow, glitter, beads, charms. This kit kind of had everything, along with little mixing spoons. There was dyes of every color. I think there was even a fragrance oil in there, along with a small bottle of activator and a small bottle of glue. Some blue pigment, which looks pretty, some measuring cups, these two unicorn containers, regular plastic containers, and even a little bowl and glitter. This kit had it all, but I am only going to be making one slime out of it, and the little bowl wasn't cutting it, so I pulled out the big glass one. I decided to empty the whole bottle of glue into this bowl. It's a little surprising to me that a kit with all this stuff only comes with one bottle of glue, but I guess you can always buy more and use the ingredients. I decided to use the blue dye because this is a mermaid themed kit, and I kind of wanted to make like an ocean themed slime, so I went ahead and added glitter to this as well. At the bottom of the bag, I also found these little pearls, which I thought went with it really well, so I added those, and then used the little spoon that was included to mix everything together. Now, this was actually really beautiful to mix in together. All of the things kind of just blended together perfectly, and the light hitting the glitter in the slime was definitely giving me mermaid vibes. Once everything was mixed in, I decided to go ahead and start activating it. Now, I was a little cautious with this because I've had other slime kits and the activator was just so strong. Even after a few drops, it went completely hard and the slime was pretty bad. So I added in only a few drops at a time and mixed it very carefully because I didn't want to ruin this, especially because it was so beautiful to begin with. After mixing it for a while and adding more and more activator, I kind of noticed that the activator wasn't as strong as the other kits had been, and it was actually kind of normal. So I just went ahead and kept mixing and mixing until it started to form and clump together. I was struggling, however, with the little spoon, so I switched to my spatula midway through just because it was so much easier to mix the slime with. I was actually really surprised with how easy this was, and the slime was really forming pretty quickly, and there weren't really any strings or lumps or bumps that I was needing out. It was just pretty smooth. The one thing that I don't like about clear slime sometimes is that when you mix it, it loses the clarity because you're putting in a ton of different air bubbles into it. So I decided the best bet to make it clear again was put it into a container and let it sit for a little bit, just so that it would get clear again and look a bit more ocean-like. Now, I only ended up leaving this for about 24 hours just because I needed to get this video up, but even then, it still had cleared up significantly and was a lot brighter. You could see all the add-ins in it a little clearer, the glitter was shining through it, and I feel like the texture was even a little bit smoother. Not that it was tough or not smooth, but it just felt a little lighter. I could have just left that slime as it is, but you know I'm extra and I wanted to do something else, so I found a chunk of cloud slime and used a few drops of brown dye and then a few drops of yellow dye just to kind of give it a sand-like color. I don't know if you guys can see where I'm going with this. Ocean, sand, maybe kind of giving a beach-inspired slime, but you'll have to watch to the end to see what I do. Once I had a color I was happy with and looked sand enough like, I decided to press it into the container and try and smooth it out as best as I can to make it look enough like a sandy beach. Once that was looking smooth enough, I then went back to the blue slime, took some out, and then filled the rest of the container up with it. And this looked stunning. It was exactly how I wanted it to look. It was definitely giving tropical vacation, but of course I wasn't done there because I still had to use the charms that the kit included. There were so many cute charms in this kit, I almost used them all, but I just ended up decorating the slime with the ones I thought fit best into it. And this was the finished result. The goal was kind of a mermaid lagoon rather than just a beach, and I definitely think I achieved this. My absolute favorite thing about duo textured slimes is mixing the two textures together and seeing what texture it'll make. And not only did this feel so satisfying to play with, but it actually made a really nice soft slime. It was definitely a mix between an icy slime and a jelly slime, and it was just really soft and fluffy. Now, I didn't use all ingredients from this kit, but the ingredients that I did use were great, so I was actually pretty impressed with this one. Okay, with all honesty, I don't actually know where this kit was from. I'm not sure where I ordered it from, but I thought I'd include it in this video anyway, because technically it was meant to be a slime kit, even though the only things it came with were some sprinkles, a little container, and then these 2 pre-made bags of slime. And I did have a bad feeling about these. Now, at first, they did seem okay. The first one I opened, at least, it was very clear and it actually looked really cool. The texture was kind of feeling a little putty-like, but it was showing some stretch, but only to begin with, because the more I stretched it and the more I played with it, the tougher it got. It was just a very kind of rubbery, tough, typical putty texture that you expect with these type of things. Of course, I was really hoping that the blue one would have a different texture, but I think this one might have actually been a little tougher. Maybe it's from the dye, I don't know, but it just didn't feel good. So I guess the kit part of this is just mixing these two together and then mixing them with the sprinkles and then putting them in the container, but that seemed pretty boring and I didn't want to do that for you guys or for myself, so I decided, you know what, let me fix these and turn these into an amazing slime, or attempt to. I got both of them in a bowl with some glue and some vegetable glycerin just to completely melt them down, and then began the process of mashing everything together and combining them. I can't lie, I did think that this would take a while just because of how tough the two slimes were, but honestly, since using glycerin, these slime makeovers are so much easier because it just melts everything down. It got to this point where it's kind of stretching and light again, and I added a splash of activator and then mixed that in, and it just came together so quickly. I was so surprised. Now, I had a few choices here. I could either just add the sprinkles like it wanted me to in the kit and make a pretty boring slime, or I could add a ton of beautiful pearls into this, so of course I chose the pearls, and these were absolutely stunning. I was scared though, because sometimes with different types of slime, different types of glue, just different ingredients, the beads don't stick to it. So I was mixing this very carefully and very gently just to see what was going to happen, and when I finally stretched it, not a single bead fell out. I was so relieved, but I actually decided to let this one sit for a day as well, like the other slime, just because it wasn't as clear as I'd like it to be. And I was so glad I did, because this was stunning. You could even tell from the slime inside the container how beautiful this was. I squeezed the edges of the container, then popped this out, kind of like a sandcastle, and this was the final result. I can't believe I turned those two tough slimes into this satisfying, crunchy bead slime. And honestly, this was a pretty easy fix as well. I definitely wouldn't recommend the kit, but at least I know how to fix it. Well, I had so much fun opening up these slime kits from Amazon. Some weren't the best, some were great, but either way, I still enjoyed making them. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, hit subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.